Hello guys, this is Noel, coming to you live from Arizona. Sorry I couldn't be there to explain the chapter to you, but hopefully, I can be specific enough to explain it from here. So I did chapter 15 on the structuration theory, and research was by Anthony Giddens, Scott Poole, David Siebold, and Robert McPhee. So sociologist Anthony Giddens believes that social institutions are produced and reproduced and transformed through the use of rules. Well, David Siebold and Karen Myers believe that social institutions are organizations around members. This involves things like making choices and managing disagreements. Then all of these focus on structure of the structuration theory. While Giddens stated that the structures and the rules we create restricts our behavior, we need these rules to guide our decisions and how we're expected to behave. Groups and organizations are coordinated around various social interactions, which are things like conducting meetings in person or via video, arriving at the decision of coming to a decision during a conference call, and teaching new skills in employee training sessions are, things that, involve the, structurization theory. And then now let's look at a few terms we have. A system is a group or organization, the behaviors that the group engages in to pursue its goals. And then the structure is the rules and resources used to sustain a group or organization. Well, also, structurization is the production, reproduction, and transformation of social environments through rules and resources and relationship. And this can be developed usually on an everyday basis, just through interacting with people. This allows people to understand their patterns of behaviors, you and the person you're communicating with. And then now we have the assumptions of the structuration theory. This is important. There are three of them. Groups and organizations are produced and reproduced through actions and behaviors. Communication rules serve as both the medium for and outcome of interactions. And Power structures are present in organizations and we guide the decision-making process. There's another term we have. We have the Fresh Act, which is something new developed from an action and behavior. An example of this is when a group leader decides to conduct a vote using an anonymous ballot. If this was proved to be effective for group members, history is influencing the operation system. Every day we communicate with someone, we are establishing a new beginning by 1. Creating a rule of expectation, 2. Altering an existing rule, and then 3. Reaffirming rules that have been used in the past. All of our communicative actions exist in relation to the past. So this means you'll always you'll basically learn from past experiences of communicating with someone whether or not the rules should be, a little more lenient, or if you need to maybe potentially hold back a bit. Then the second assumption of the structuration theory is the notion that rules provide a guideline for individual behavior as well as serve as possible constraints on individual behavior. This means that there are rules that could potentially put constraints on the communication, just as I said earlier. A few more terms we have here is power. Power is imposition of personal willing on others. This is the third assumption by saying it is an influential force in arriving at decisions in organization. This enables us to accomplish our goals. Next we have agency, which are behaviors or activities used in social environments. An agent, keep a note of this, is a person engaging in behaviors or activities in social environments. Next we have reflexivity, a person's ability to monitor his or her actions based on behaviors. Discursive consciousness is a person's ability to articulate personal goals or behaviors. Practical consciousness is a person's inability to articulate personal goals and behaviors. Duality of structure is rules and resources used to guide organizational decisions about behaviors and actions. Then we have rules. Rules are something we've talked about in a lot of other chapters. And this are general routines that the organization or group follows in accomplishing goals. And then we have resources as well, which there are actually two forms of resources that you use in this theory. But rules are general routines that the organization or groups follows in accomplishing goals. Actually, that was rules. All right, resources are attributes or materials, goods that can be used to exert power in organizations. Now, the two types of resources we have are allocative and authoritative. Now, allocative resources are material assistance used to help groups accomplish their goals, while authoritative resources are interpersonal assistance used to help groups accomplish their goals. Next, we have the forms of power, and there are 5 forms of power. There's reward power, which is perception that another person has the ability to provide positive outcomes. And then, I have trouble saying this. Creative power, which is perception that another person has the ability to punish you. So, that's kind of easy to remember between those two. Next, we have referent power, which is perception that another person has the ability to achieve compliance because of established personal relationships. Then we have legitimate power, which is perception that another person has the ability to exert influence because of title or position. Then we have expert power, which is perception that another person has the ability to exert influence because of special knowledge or expertise. These should be terms that would be somewhat familiar that you've had in other classes, though, for sure. And then we have social integration, which is reciprocity of communication behaviors and interaction. This is based on forms of expectations based on previous impressions or information learned. And then we have, in closing, the structuration theory will continue to apply certain rules, principles, and processes in organizational life. So I hope, sorry it was a little bit short and whatnot, so I can't really have you guys interact in class, but I assume you guys will have some discussion and whatnot, and just do well on the quiz. It should be 5 questions, true or false, and you guys will be all right. All right, well, thank you.